In the hazy bamboo jungle of Kyoryu, the brave, almost to the point of being completely stupid, archaeologist Niles Rivers traveled to an ancient temple to seek the legendary Yagyu plasma blade. This sacred sword belonged to Yagyu, the god who protected the land of Kyoryu ages past. Niles Rivers ventured deep into the bamboo jungle before finding Yagyu's temple. Upon sight of the building, Niles noticed something out of the ordinary. "Curious," Niles commented, observing the temple's entrance. "The door is wide open, almost as if someone else has been here. No matter though, a fearless adventurer like myself isn't discouraged by a little competition." The archaeologist boldly entered the temple, and was quickly met with a sheer wall that led up to a high ledge. The ledge was too tall to reach with a simple jump, so Niles planned an intricate strategy to scale the wall. "I'll simply run up the wall a short distance, bounce off, landing on the opposite wall just above the door frame, and then I'll jump from there, just making it high enough to grab the ledge." Niles carefully planned his ascent before finally running at full speed toward the wall. In the middle of the adventurer's advance, his detailed plan of reaching the steep ledge was interrupted by a landmine that had been placed within the floor. The bomb exploded, launching Niles high into the air, just high enough to reach the ledge that he was aiming for. He was slightly charred and smoldering from the explosion, but that did not keep him from quickly rising to his feet to discover that someone did indeed make it to Yagyu's temple first. Ahead of Niles was a room full of poachers, wielding shotguns and assault rifles, all pointed at the archaeologist's face. There was also an upper floor of the room where the poacher army's general, Edwin Everest, stood menacingly with his 16-round magazine rocket launcher. "Edwin Everest," Niles called to the poacher's leader. "Such a cocky old chap you are, always letting your hunting exploits overlap my research. Save yourself the trouble and go back home to your tiny collection of unimportant artifacts," Everest taunted, waving his rocket launcher and stroking his graying, stubbly beard. "When I take possession of the Yagyu plasma blade, I'm gonna use it to carve up all of me kills and turn them into jerky, and you're not gonna lay your greedy hands on it and add it to your dust-drawing shelf if I have anything to blast about it." At that moment, Everest launched a rocket at the ceiling, loosing a cluster of stones that fell toward Niles. Being a highly trained adventurer, Niles elegantly dove out of the way of the stones. "Go ahead, mates," the poacher leader commanded his soldiers. "Give this plucky adventurer 1,000 reasons to leave this temple, each one of those reasons being made out of lead." Edwin Everest left the room with an evil laugh as his henchmen opened fire. However, Niles Rivers wasn't afraid of any poachers. He drew his lucky machete and charged straight toward the nearest enemy. "Come here, you bounder!" Niles ran at full speed toward his assault rifle-wielding opponent. "I'll show you that courage can defeat a gun any day!" Although the enemy poacher was unleashing a fully automatic stream of bullets, he was too shaky to land even a single hit on the brave adventurer Niles Rivers. Our archaeologist hero quickly made his way to the poacher and incapacitated the opponent with a single slash from his lucky machete. After taking out the poacher, Niles grabbed the assault rifle and quickly strafed around the edge of the room, using his newly acquired weapon to mow down the rest of the enemies in the area. Once the room was clear of poachers, Niles stole a shotgun off of one of the men and headed up the steps and into the room that Edwin Everest had escaped to. Upon entry into the next area, Niles saw no Everest in sight, but he did see one of Everest's poacher minions waiting for intruders. The poacher was just about to lift his gun, but he was interrupted by 3 clouds of smoke appearing. From the clouds of smoke emerged 3 ninja raptors. Each dinosaur was completely black with a deep purple bandana around its neck. The poacher turned and fired at one of the raptors, but the creature disappeared into a cloud of smoke and reappeared behind the man. As soon as the raptor emerged, it launched a spread of shuriken from its mouth, almost as if the creature had shuriken breath. The sharp projectiles from the dinosaur landed in the poacher's back, knocking him out. After that, all of the raptors turned their attention to Niles Rivers. "Aw, how cute!" Niles admired the raptors. "They even have little bandanas." One of the raptors roared, but Niles quickly killed it with a single shot from his shotgun. The archaeologist then turned and fired at the next ninja raptor in line, but that raptor disappeared into a cloud of smoke and reappeared behind Niles, hitting the adventurer with a hard kick. Niles was knocked down, but he quickly rose and turned to face the dinosaur who was charging forward for a bite. The adventurer jumped to the side to dodge the bite, and then lowered his machete to remove the Ninja Raptor's head. After defeating the monster, Niles turned around to see that the remaining Ninja Raptor was right behind him. Niles attempted a swing with his machete, but the dinosaur grabbed the blade with its mouth and tossed the weapon aside. In response, the archaeologist thought quickly and threw an uppercut that knocked the Ninja Raptor across the room. Niles then followed by cocking his shotgun, but the raptor landed on its feet and unleashed a spread of shuriken from its mouth, causing Niles to react by rolling to the side to dodge the shuriken and retrieve his machete. As soon as the lucky machete was in Niles' hand, the raptor dashed forward and attempted a kick, but Niles blocked the kick with his machete and countered with a hard slash to kill the ninja dinosaur. Now, where should I go next? The archaeologist observed all of the exits to the room. I'll just use my adventurer's instinct and go with my first choice. Niles walked to the only door that appeared to be sealed shut and used all of his strength to push it open. A burst of dust erupted from the darkness beyond as a voice echoed from behind the door.
Who dares disturb my rest?
Niles quickly shut the door. You know, I think adventurer's instinct really kicks in when I make my second choice. He then approached a different door. I have to find the Yagyu plasma blade before Edwin Everest takes it on a hunting trip. After that, Niles used the door to proceed to the next room, which happened to be the chamber that held the Yagyu plasma blade. There was a drop into the lower floor where the sacred weapon was on display, but the adventurer wasn't afraid. This drop is no match for the mighty shins of Niles Rivers! Niles shouted as he jumped off of the ledge and boldly landed on the lower floor. The Yagyu plasma blade was being held by an old yet powerful-looking statue of a samurai. Niles carefully approached the statue. Though an adventurer should always be fearless, one must be careful when in the treasure chamber of an ancient temple. You must beware of all manner of booby traps. The archaeologist looked around as he approached the statue. Despite the most paranoid expectations, there were no booby traps. However, a beam of light shone from the skylight of the room and entered the samurai statue, bringing it to life. As the statue began to move, it took a fighting stance and faced the archaeologist.
You dare enter my temple and try to steal my sword?
The statue roared. Of course I dare! Niles brought out his lucky machete. Even if I have to fight you for it!
Do you realize that you are challenging Yagyu, the god of Kyoryu?
The statue appeared ready to impale Niles with the legendary blade. Even more bonuses then! Niles charged toward Yagyu, clashing weapons with him. Not only will I get to tell everyone that I have obtained the Yagyu plasma blade, Yagyu pushed the adventurer away and took a swing with his glowing sword, but Niles moved to the side and attempted a swing of his own. I'll also get to tell everyone that I killed a god to obtain it! Niles' lucky machete met Yagyu's neck with enough force to cleave 100 men's heads off with one swing, but the blade did nothing upon contact with the god-possessed statue. The machete simply bounced off, and Yagyu turned to take another swing at the archaeologist. Niles was badly damaged by the burning slice from the legendary plasma blade. He stumbled backwards as Yagyu warned him.
Do you still wish to steal my sword? I will let you go peacefully if you surrender.
Although your blade may be precious, Niles quickly pulled out his assault rifle. You shouldn't have brought it to a gunfight! The archaeologist opened fire, but Yagyu ran toward him, completely unfazed by the hail of bullets. The god attempted another swing, but Niles jumped to the side and brought out his shotgun to fire at Yagyu's head. Still, the gunfire proved useless against the ancient god of Kyoryu. Come on, come on! Niles continued to shoot at Yagyu, who was just standing still and glaring at him. The archaeologist hoped that the shells would chip away at the statue, but the shotgun soon ran out of ammunition. Blast! Niles cast the firearm aside and drew his lucky machete once again. It doesn't matter though. Come here, you arrogant rock. I'm sure if I hit you enough times, this machete will slice right through.
I admire your courage,
Yagyu complimented.
If you can somehow manage to defeat me in battle, then I will gladly grant you my blade as a reward.
Yagyu was suddenly struck by a rocket and blown to tiny pieces of gravel as the god's soul ascended to the heavens and left the legendary plasma blade behind. Ha-ha! Niles victoriously scooped up the Yagyu plasma blade as the smoke cleared. I finally have my artifact. But where did that rocket come from? Niles looked to the upper floor of the room where Edwin Everest was standing with his rocket launcher. I'd suggest you hand over that relic before I blow your hands off with it, Everest growled. I'd suggest you go skin one of your rabbits before I skin you with this sword, Niles taunted, pointing the plasma blade toward the poacher. Edwin Everest let out one more roar before launching several rockets at Niles. Just before the rockets struck the ground that Niles stood on, the archaeologist jumped just above the area of impact and was launched toward the enemy poacher by the force of the explosions. As the adventurer flew through the air, Everest launched another rocket at him. However, Niles was ready with the Yagyu plasma blade. He cut the rocket in half in midair, and the two halves of the projectile flew to opposite ends of the room as Niles continued to sail toward his opponent. As soon as Niles reached the poacher, he swung the Yagyu plasma blade to cut the enemy in half and land safely on the platform. It looks like I've obtained 2 treasures from this journey! Niles took the rocket launcher from Everest. Immediately after that, a powerful dinosaur burst into the room from beneath the floor. This dinosaur had wings, and one of its arms was wielding a giant katana. The creature's tail also had a katana connected to the tip. "Gadzooks!" Niles called out. "It's the feared dinosaur known as Katanadon!" He then looked at his rocket launcher with a sinister grin. "It looks like I get to play with my new toy." Niles then launched a cluster of rockets at the Katanadon as he yelled, "Take this, you beastie!" After that, a rainbow of explosions devoured the Katanadon, leaving a beautiful display of fireworks to end the latest journey of the courageous adventurer, Niles Rivers. The end. This story was created by Justin Ian Miller, and all voices were done by Justin Ian Miller as well, the guy who's reading it. Yes, I have no one else in the room with me. See you guys next time for another audiobook. And was launched toward the enemy poacher by the force of the explosions. Rocket jump.